I got 5 on it. Arsenal are top of the league. I got 5 on it. And Chelsea are gonna bleed. I got 5 on it. Tottenham, you will all scream. I got 5
All right,
on
Mr.
it.
Rafa.
Hey, I'm happy. Obviously, my team are doing amazingly well this season. This is another episode of One Kick from Glory. We're doing a recap of the transfer window. We're going to recap the first 5 games. We're going to talk about the Todd Bowley era rolling on. We're going to talk about all that good stuff. But first, I'm joined, as always, by Craig.
Yeah. Peace.
And Matthew.
What's up?
Let's just start off where it means and feels good to start off. Our former captain has returned to the Premier League. Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang has returned, joined Chelsea as their new number 9. I hope the curse continues because they've not had a good run with them. Craig, how do you feel about the transfers in general?
Or for Arsenal or in general? All of them.
Just in general. Let's talk about that particular transfer. How do you feel about the fact that our captain is gone? Former captain has gone to Chelsea. Another one.
Not happy because he has an Arsenal title on his arm. And he's got an Arsenal sleeve with his kids at the Emirates Stadium. So if you got that on your arm, why are you going to Chelsea? That's like me being an Arsenal fan playing for Tottenham. Can't run. Can't run. So I know it's money, but end of the day, he's just stayed at Barcelona, man. He could have won a Champions League with Lewandowski, maybe.
But to be fair, I mean, his position was lost. Like, I do still find it strange that they actually went and got Lewandowski in the first place. I think that transfer didn't make much sense to me.
Yeah.
Considering how well Aubameyang performed last season. I mean, Lewandowski is Lewandowski, so when opportunity is there, you take it. But I feel like that was a bit of a bizarre decision by them.
I feel like Aubameyang, he will score goals for Chelsea, but
I hope not.
I hope not as well, but he will score. Maybe not. Maybe he'll have the same run that he had at Arsenal towards the end, that's struggling again. But him and the manager, Chelsea manager, they have history together. So
yeah, they have a good relationship. He knows him really well. He knows his game. He knows the best way to get the most out of him. I guess for you, Matthew, when you saw that transfer, and I guess just a general update on the business you've done so far, like. I mean, I feel like Barcelona have definitely had you guys over this window. I think they've really had your number. I did say it in the previous podcast when talking about the players you wanted to buy and the ones that they beat you to the pip. Some Chelsea fans have come out saying that some of them you hadn't actually bid for. You did bid for Rafinha. You did want Jules Koundé, but then obviously things didn't work out. Do you feel like now you need to stop being Barcelona's little charity case and step up?
Also, well, first of all, we're still not going to get over 2009. Still not going to get over with Tom Overbo. We're still not going to get over that. We'll hold that against them. We're never going to be there, mate. We're never going to be. Plus, we had 2012 over them as well. So, but yeah, it does look bad. It looks bad in the way that, they've picked, like Koundé, particular one, and then Rafinha and De Jong was meant to come our way as well, but he didn't. I don't know how much truth was in that, but
I would say none. I don't think he was ever planning on leaving Barcelona this summer.
It didn't happen. And also they got they got Christensen from us and they got Alonso from us, which to be honest I'm fine with. They nearly got Azpilicueta, and after the last few games I'm kind of wondering why he didn't go the other way as well.
So you would have swapped both players with Aubameyang?
Well, not a swap, but just like if for what we want, which I'm convinced is staying in the top 4. I don't think we're nowhere near ready to challenge. I mean, if we can't, West Ham, Leeds, Everton, and Southampton all prove that win already. And to some extent, we played one good game so far. We played one good game, and we didn't even win that one. We're not ready for a title challenge. We just need to stay in that top 4 and maybe be a bit more competitive in the cups. Carabao, FA Cup, Champions League, Let's get good around Champions League as well. Seeing with what we've got. But I think to do that, your aging players, and I know he's our captain, and we always appreciate him being our captain. Is knowing when you're getting towards that age now where you're thinking more of yourself as post football. So what your life is going to be like after football, whether it be punditry, coaching, or whatever it is staying. Is your own desire of staying at the club a good idea? Sometimes it's just knowing when to let go. And as much as I love him, I don't know if he's able to cut it anymore.
On the flip side, though, if you had let him go, do you not feel like that would have been too many experienced players that have left this summer, or too many core key players you would have let go of this summer?
Had not knowing hindsight's a wonderful thing. So I guess it's good having a squad player there. At least if something that does go wrong, you got someone who knows the club very, very well, knows his position and can play in more than one position. So of course it's good as well. Unfortunately, with how the Premier League is moving, with no easy games. Fulham gave you a great game last week. As of recording, Villa drew with Man City. You want to remain competitive, you have to step your game up, even as a big club as we are. The big clubs, bar you, have really, well, even though you won all your games, not all of them have been easy. They're not simply just going to come by and sit backwards and watch you just steam all over them.
We're going to come to Arsenal's performances, though, because I disagree with that point a little bit. But there's a caveat.
No, but you've won. But what, especially maybe Fulham didn't roll. You just came out. Your quality showed out in the end. We need to start. We need to be a bit more organised and knowing what we're doing to remain competitive in this top four, because it's not going to be easy. Where we are, like you said, the team likely to fall out of top four right now is unfortunately us.
That is a good place to go to start off. And you know what? I have been a bit confused about your manager for a while now, because I think about his CV as a coach and where he's, the path he's been on from his time at, I think it was at Mainz as well before?
Mainz, yeah.
Mainz,
to Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain, and then of course now Chelsea. And I think the thread that was running through his career, which made him such an exciting coach, was his football. Attacking football, quite flary. He looked like and he is one of the next great managers. I'm not going to take that away from him. However, at Chelsea, so far, I know we talked about this previously. I know, Craig, you said that you felt it was a player issue rather than a coaching issue. It hasn't come to fruition. For you, Craig, now, and for me, I'm not even saying that a situation where he could, should, or might get fired, because I think it's way too premature.
Yeah.
But do you feel like now what do you think is really going wrong with him as a coach and the players he's managing? Because something's not working out.
I feel like the players are not playing with freedom. When you watch Chelsea play, and if they can see the goal, or the goalkeeper makes a mistake, they'll go fall into their shell.
Goalkeeper making a mistake happening quite a lot. Mendy,
A lot.
sort it out, or just keep going. Keep going.
And I feel like they got aging backline as well. Like Koulibaly's like 31, Thiago Silva's like 37. So I know they're just putting Wesley Fofana. He's gonna take a while to get used to Chelsea's system and how they play. Good defender. Before he broke his leg, he was a very good defender. Still come back from a bad injury, so he'll be a good player for them. I feel Cucurella's a good defender. Reece James, their best defender at the club, 100%.
Comfortably,
should play for England in the World Cup.
We'll see about that.
Hopefully. I feel they got Brent Chilwell on the bench.
Chilwell.
Yeah.
He came off the bench today.
He's a good left back. So they've got competition for two positions there. I feel Aspilicueta needs to be phased out a little bit now, because I know he's club captain, but as Matthew said, you need hungry young players. Like, I feel like they should got another right back in and told Aspilicueta, you know what, thank you. And and I feel like midfield is a problem as well, because when Kante is injured, they have nobody else as good as Kante in that midfield. So, Kovacic is a good player.
I wasn't even going to say Kovacic. I mean, to be fair, I feel like that's the role that Gallagher is, and that's why Gallagher started most of the games this season. I think that's just the role that they see him fulfilling.
I feel like with Gallagher, like he got sent off the other day. He doesn't look confident in the Chelsea team. I think he looked better at Palace last season under Vieira. I don't know if it's a manager thing or it's a system thing, but he looked very top class at Palace last season.
I agree. I put it down to, like, he's probably just eager to impress. Like, this is his club.
Yeah.
When you're playing for your club, you put in extra effort and you want to do your best and perform. Are you concerned, Matthew, about Thomas? LDTT, as you call him?
I'm not with him, but with the players, and more or less, I think what's happened is you're saying about why the attacking flair isn't working. I also think that he's got to take a responsibility for sometimes when he picks the team. Certain players in that team could help to be dropped now and then. So today,
who would you drop?
Mount needs to be dropped. He was dropped. He's been poor.
Money Mays.
He's been poor.
The real Mays.
He's been poor.
The only Mason we talk about these days.
He's been poor. I mean, he came off today, and I think he contributed to one of the equalisers that we had. But he needs to be dropped. Havertz was dropped. He scored. And he scored. There you go. And dare I say it, because I love the guy, I think Mendy needs to be dropped as well. I would drop him for the Champions League game coming up against Zagreb. Play someone else, because he's had a consistent run of games. He played both finals. I think he played both the Club World Cup and the FIFA Club World Cup. And I think Kepa came in for the penalties. Yeah. But still, he started the game. If you're playing the same players, you're not going to get different ideas. I once watched a video saying that, you can't move on from something if you keep going back to the same chapter every single time. So when the time we played you at the end of the season, that team was stagnant. It wasn't such a low in confidence. It was just devoid of any kind of real ideas. There's no real chop and change. And like you said, with the midfield, and this is what happens when Kante's not there. He's essentially doing the work for 1, 2, maybe even 3 people. So when he's there, he goes off and does his thing. Jorginho and Kovacic can sit back and do theirs. Now, with him not being there, that now falls to Gallagher. He's young, he's exciting, he's hungry, he's inexperienced. And that's a key word there, inexperience. You need discipline in that midfield. We're used to discipline midfielders in our day. And right now, it's just the games we lost, like I said before, in the Leeds and Southampton, and we nearly lost today. It's that midfield. It's far too easy. Corners coming in and they're at the other end. It's that midfield. And Jorginho didn't start. Thank God. He's another one that needs to be dropped. He's another one. He can't, and not for the fact that he can't do it. He can't do that Kante role. He's not built for that. He needs someone to go off and do their thing. We can sit back and do that, the dirty, boring work. I mean, so at midfield, we got rid of Barkley, but he wasn't really doing anything. Hudson-Odoi is going off to Bayern Leverkusen. He's probably going to smash it there anyway as well. So we had the likes of Loftus.
Was Hudson a permanent deal, or was it a loan?
That's a loan deal. It's a loan deal.
End of season.
We've got that new guy on loan from Juventus. We've got that guy from Aston Villa. I'll be keen to see what he's going to be able to do. But I think we kind of missed out on the midfield a little bit, just to kind of marshal and discipline and hold that line. So then that way, and someone that's got a bit more creativity to send off to our players, because we've got players, and we've got Sterling, we've got Ziyech didn't go anywhere,
got
Pulisic is there, and now we've got Aubameyang. There's now and you've got enough there to kind of move around. And when Finn comes back, plus remember last year, a vast majority of a lot of our goals came from the sides, came from the wing backs. The likes of Reece James, Cucurella can get in there. Chilwell scored our first goal or equaliser. So if we can get our front line sorted, if that midfield can, if that midfield can get more creative and organised and disciplined to send to our forward players, as well as our wing backs scoring and Koulibaly scoring bangers, there's no reason why we can't be up there in the goal chart and actually winning games.
Well, I feel the biggest issue is not that. I think it's not this season, from last season. Towards the end of last season, you were struggling for scoring goals, and you conceded so many goals. I feel like, my honest opinion, I hope it doesn't happen, but it might. I feel like Todd Bowley, the Chelsea owner, is looking at it now like this: well, I've given you all this money to spend in the summer. I expect a good return in my investment.
Yeah.
So if you don't do well in the league, say if you lose any more games,
the league's a bread and butter.
If you lose again, say if you lose 2 more games, I think you'll get sacked. But honestly, you know why I say that? Because your form's been poor since last season, and you're coming to the new season with new players. You expect to do well.
I mean, I still think that would be a little bit premature.
It will be premature, but Chelsea have a history of sacking managers.
The Roman has a history.
Chelsea.
Roman. If this was Roman, I'd agree with you.
Yeah.
I reckon he'd be on the. If he lost today, tomorrow he'd be gone.
Who? The manager.
Yeah.
But I feel that. But I feel you'd have to start picking up some points and getting a good win on the table, because sooner or later he will get. Obviously, Bowley's there. He's going to give you a chance, but I feel afterwards he's going to get fed up and say, "No, I want a new manager." But I don't know who's available. There's no good manager available right now.
But we need performances.
Mauricio Pochettino is available.
Yeah, but would he go to Chelsea though?
Why not? He ain't got a job.
Would Aubameyang? Would you have ever thought in your wildest dreams Aubameyang go to Chelsea?
Well, considering Didier Drogba's tweet the other day, absolutely. Snake.
But you know what I mean? I think we've had one good performance in the last 2 or 3 months, and that was again. I say again, that's the game we didn't win, and we were fantastic that game. We can do it. We can do it, but you can't only just turn up for the Tottenhams of this world. Yeah. You've got to do it
every game.
There are no more easy games anymore. Ideas travel. If Vincent Kompany can go to Burnley, Chelsea should expect a tough game from any team they play against. There are no more easy games, and teams are now stepping up.
I feel like in the summer you don't need to check your midfielders. You've got Asian midfield. Kante's in his 30s. Jorginho's almost 30. Your midfield is a problem where the issue is where you protect the midfield, where you protect the defenders. And every time Chelsea can see goals, it's because their midfield is exposed every time.
But the thing is, with this, there's two ways to skin a. I mean, there's many ways to play the game of football. But in terms of this debate about their midfielders and how they set up, there's two ways to skin a cat, right?
Yeah.
You either have a high pressing team. So when you lose the ball, you kind of suffocate teams to get them back. Man City do it. Arsenal now adopted it really well. Leeds do it. Liverpool do it really well, right? So we know that's one model. The other model, which is equally as effective and probably better, keep the ball. Just keep the ball.
Chelsea don't keep the ball.
That's the thing. So I think that's the bigger issue with how you're playing. I don't think there's an issue with Jorginho anchoring your midfield, so long as you're keeping it and cycling. Because if you keep the ball and cycle possession, then you can create opportunities. I think the issue is how you're playing is the problem. What you're doing is the problem. It's not necessarily a personnel issue. It's just the actual effectiveness.
I think players like Pulisic need to get more minutes as well, because Mount has played and has done well.
He's too comfortable.
Havertz scored today, but he has been playing well for a while.
No, but Havertz scored because he didn't start.
Yeah, I think Pulisic needs more minutes. I think when Aubameyang comes, I would start maybe Pulisic on one wing, Aubameyang through the middle, and Sterling on the left.
Hold on, Craig. Let's not give Chelsea good ideas. Let the mediocrity continue.
You're forgetting about Broja. Give Broja a chance. He did more in the Southampton game than the vast majority of them did for 70 minutes.
There's also that I don't understand why he's not getting more minutes. But
I would love to see him, because we always said that last year as time with Southampton that he did really well. So he kind of same with Gallagher. So if Gallagher got a chance, shouldn't Broja get it as well? But going back to the fact that we'll raise the fact that how when we lose, it's losing the ball. Three examples of how it resulted in our downfall. It happened when you scored your first goal against us back in May, or was it April? Where Christensen lose the ball, you score. When Aspilicueta loses the ball against Everton, score, lost. And today it nearly got us. It nearly got us, but the luck was on our side. Where the defender loses the ball, Bowen goes through, gets fouled by Mendy. Could have been 2-2, but we should have been 2-2. But it's just losing the ball. Every time you see, majority of the times when you see where we lose the ball, it results in a goal.
So the biggest issue ultimately is that you're getting hit on transitions.
It's a transition.
And that's an issue of structure, because that used to be a problem for Arsenal for a number of years. We were continuously getting run through. It was disgraceful.
That's why we lost against Real Madrid.
So I think that's the thing you need to work on is the shape and the structure and the distances between players. So if you lose the ball, which can happen in the phase of play, make sure you have enough cover back. Make sure the players know to get back in time. But before we get on to Arsenal, because I want to say that for last, because we've got a lot of exciting things going on there. We want to talk about the league's current top goal scorer, the Norwegian machine.
Cheat code.
Is it Norwegian or Danish?
Norwegian. You got it right.
Get those things wrong there.
They cause problems.
The Scandinavian, they're not. Yeah. So Erling Haaland, he's come into the Premier League and taking it like his child's play. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
Do we think he's going to get the Golden Boot this year?
Yeah.
Without injury, if he doesn't have any injury, he'll get the Golden Boot. Yeah. He's the best striker in the league right now.
He's got 10. He's got 10 goals in 6 games.
That's a ridiculous
2 hat-tricks.
I'm saying if he stays in the Premier League for a long time, he'll break Shearer's record. If he's got the way he's scoring right now, he'll break Shearer's record. Yeah. Everyone's saying Harry Kane will break it, but I think he could break Shearer's record. Haaland. Well,
he might end up breaking Kane's record because Kane's well ahead of him. And
I don't know, man. Oh.
But Kane's on 201 now. He's on 201, and I've always said if he stays fit, he can do it.
But Kane's getting older now. And I think injuries are gonna kick into him very soon because he has a lot of problems with his ankles. And
so can he adapt the game? Adapt the game. If anyone in this current day and age is close to doing it, it's him.
Yeah, Kane he'll break England's record. He'll break that in the World Cup.
Or the Premier League record.
He'll break that as well.
I think Kane will get. I think Kane will get the record, and then Haaland will take that record.
Yeah.
If
he stays in the Premier League, and no injury problems. Yeah.
But I think you made a good point before we started recording, Craig, about looking at Erling Haaland and his start and the impact it's having at Man City.
Yeah.
And comparing it to the impact that Alexis Sanchez had at Arsenal.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. What do you want to say about that?
I thought that when Alexis came to Arsenal, we were struggling. We were struggling badly. Remember them years when we was getting top 4, but we weren't winning any trophies, we weren't doing well. I feel like the summer before that we bought Ozil, and then the next summer we bought Alexis. And I think when Alexis came to Arsenal, he was unplayable for 3 years. He was one of the best players in the league, maybe even the world. He played with Messi. Neymar. He played with Neymar, didn't he?
In the league, yes. In the world, no.
I think he was a top player.
Not in the top 3 in the world at that point in time, no.
You don't think so?
Top 5, yes, not top 3.
Messi, Suarez, Neymar.
Top 5, yeah, top 5. But I feel like he had a bigger impact because Arsenal were going nowhere, and then Arsene Wenger brought him in, and Arsenal started winning trophies again. We didn't win the big trophies. We won the FA Cup, but his impact, like in big games. I remember one game against Man United when he absolutely destroyed whoever was playing right back that day. I can't remember, but he absolutely destroyed that right back.
It might be a bit early to say whether he's going to have a bigger impact than Erling Haaland, because I think it's just far too.
Well, Haaland's his first season, and we don't know when he gets injured. If he gets injured, we'll see how long it takes to get back into form, because he did get injured a lot last season at Dortmund as well. He did miss a lot of games as well. So
yeah, but I feel like if I was to look at both, and I guess Matthew, for your opinion on this as well, but when I look at the impact on the I can't even really say impact on the team. If I say impact on the team, yes, Alexis has had a bigger impact on Arsenal when he first came in compared to Erling Haaland, because Man City as a team already settled.
Yeah,
I think the difference is Haaland is setting a whole new level of what a striker can be.
Yeah,
he's just come in, and the funny thing is he's having less involvement in games. He barely touches the ball, and yet he's lethal. You know?
Is he doing what he needs to do?
And I think one thing I'll give Haaland is very patient as well. Like the other day, he scored a hat trick. He was back-to-back hat tricks. One thing about him, his movement. Every time he moves, he's creating space for the midfielders. So when the midfielders play the ball to him, he's moving. Every minute he's moving. So by the time you blink your eye, he's goal. But
you know what the other funny thing is with this, and I'm going to jump to you, Matthew, in a second. Like the funny thing with all of this with Erling Haaland is Man City aren't even really playing the ball to him that much anyway. If you think about the pattern of play, they only seem to really be looking for him when they're conceding. And then they're battling. I mean, the other day he scored the early goal, but realistically, they're not really getting the ball into him that early. When they finally calibrate their way of playing to him,
he'll be unstoppable.
But for you, Matthew, how do you look at his start to the league, and do you think he's having a bigger impact than Alexis or not?
Well, it's difficult to say, because, like you said, when he came to Man City, it was the next level for them was obviously with the Champions League, or potentially even, if it's even possible, it's a quadruple, because they're the reigning champions. And they've done it without a striker for, well, a proper front leading man, let's say for the past 2 years, and they managed to get their way to a title. They didn't exactly finesse it or get there easily, but they got there. And that last season things changed around. You never know. So I think they're doing that purely. I think they'll take a league. But I think what they really want is that Champions League. But remember when Alexis came after his time at Barcelona, playing under Pep, funny enough, like you only just started winning your trophies. I think there was the standard of play may have changed. Because I remember you said it was an exciting time back in like 2008, 2009. Coming forward to 2014 and 15 before he arrived. It was just like you were just purely there to everyone. A lot of people kind of being like, oh, they're just getting to the top 4 and then that's that. When he came in to add to the puzzle of Mesut Ozil, was like that missing piece of the puzzle. They were your 2 best players for a long, long time, and I'm genuinely convinced that 2015-16 season, the year Leicester won it, you were very close to winning it as well. I think you finished second.
Coulda, shoulda, didn't.
Yeah. And if anyone's going to do it, it was you. We were way out. We had a little DOS year. But yeah, it's that's the levels that he had. But for raising an example, because he came direct from Barcelona, didn't he? So naturally, how it's working for you guys now is bringing that sense of a mentality, the things that you learn, to a club that might, if it's a sleeping giant essentially, to bring that kind of winning, good feeling back, because he was your leading man. He was the guy. He was the guy. So it makes you wonder why he left away. Well, we all know why he left. But when you're the guy of the club, sometimes we said this about this, is either trophies or having a legacy at the club. Probably one of the same reasons why Shearer didn't leave is being the guy at the club. And for the 3 years he was there, he was the guy. He was the guy. He was your, he won number 7 for you guys as well. 17 and 7. Yeah. He was the man. He was the man. But it's hard to tell who's had a better impact. It's hard to tell because Sanchez is being done. It's very hard to. He's had what 6 games. So It kind of depends on how long he's in the Premier League for. It kind of depends because he's in his early 20s. He's still got time. He's got time to only really get better. Like you say, he's how this is the difference between a top striker or what I wanted from Lukaku. What they're getting from him is someone that is using that kind of initiative to make the space for himself, making the runs for himself, taking the attention from away from himself. So when the midfielders do their thing, they get the ball, and by the time they get the ball to him, the ball's in the back of the net, and that's the difference. In the Premier League, he's going to do wonders. So as for impact, very hard to tell. Kind of depends on how long he's in the Premier League for, if he chooses to stay there for the rest of his career.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, and we'll see how the season pans out. I mean, right now, I think it's sensible to say he probably will end up being the top goal scorer. He's definitely gonna be top 3.
Yeah.
Since Mohamed Salah is still on he's on holiday, hasn't turned up this season yet. Still hasn't woken up. But
he dyed his hair.
I mean, I honestly think he should. I think Mohamed Salah. My personal advice to you is to fly over to Germany, go see Sadio Mane, apologise to him, and you'll be fine. Lastly, but bestly, not even good English, but who cares? Top of the league, put 5 on it, hoping to make it 6. Arsenal flying, looking good. Why I wanted to disagree with your point earlier, Matthew, about our performances. I think that our score lines have not reflected our pattern of play in any of the games.
No,
I think we should be scored way more goals, and it's just been down to inefficiency in our finishing, which is why the scorelines have been a lot more respectable to the teams. We've outplayed them quite a lot. But we're top, still unbeaten. Over to Old Trafford in the game, which will be tomorrow as of recording. For you, Craig, when you look at the start to the season, how do you feel as an Arsenal fan? Do you feel as though, are we going to go all the way? Is it too early to get carried away? Do you think this start cements us as top 4? Or do you feel like we still have a couple bumps to come?
What I've looked into, we've done well so far. What I would say is, if we go through the whole of September without losing, and we've got Tottenham in September, I think, or October, and we've got October is going to be a hard month for us. I think we've got Liverpool, Man City in that month. If we can go through September, October without losing a game, I think we could definitely challenge, because I think we could be Man City's main rivals this season. Challenge, yeah.
I respect
because
it.
You know why I say that? I know people are going to think I'm being deluded. I'm not being deluded. I'm being honest. I feel that because if we go to Anfield, if we go to Liverpool at Anfield and we get a win or get a draw at Anfield, that's a massive. Compared to every season we go to, we get battered. If we go to City and where City are playing and we don't lose a City, as long as we don't lose in the big games, I think we could challenge the season.
You know, I'm a back you on that. I'll say this here: if we get 1 to 3 points per match in the games against Liverpool or City, I think that changes everything. I think that changes everything across the league, because I think other teams will look at us differently. I think right now people are saying, you've had a good run of fixtures. Some people have even downplayed some of our results. But look at some teams. You couldn't beat Palace. You struggled against Fulham.
Liverpool.
I'm not naming any names, but you couldn't beat them. But we did. So I'm really happy with the start. I think it's something's different in the club. There's Zinchenko and Jesus
I've changed the mentality.
Have definitely, but I also think ultimately that the All or Nothing documentary has helped create this unity between the fans and the club and the players and the manager, and that we are now all on the same hymn sheet.
But I feel another thing as well, that when I watched the documentary, I feel that all the bad apples at Arsenal are gone. The ones that were troublemakers and whatever, they're all gone. And it started afresh. And sometimes the football we need afresh. And I feel that the players that we've got in now are winners. Jesus winner. Zinchenko winner. We've got winners in our team now. Vieira's a good player. We haven't seen him play yet, but he's a good player. Martinelli stepped up the next level this season. And him, and I think, to be honest with you, I feel like if they continue like that, Jesus and Martinelli, that could be the starting 11 for Brazil. They're starting too. Could be. In form. If I was the manager, I would definitely. Gabriel is doing well. Saliba's done very well for us. I'm very happy with Saliba. I feel Gabriel's good, but sometimes he gets a bit lapsy-daisy where he makes a mistake. But I feel that
he made up for it.
He made up for it last week, but he has to be on point tomorrow. He can't make any mistakes in United because they'll punish us.
Here's the thing, I'm going to say this now. Manchester United, this game coming up, right, we're playing the 11 on the pitch. We're not playing the badge. You're not great anymore. Your banter era is still ongoing. I don't care about these little couple of results you've had recently and the players you brought in. £100 million for the Brazilian Beyblade. I don't care. Do not care. This game on the week, on Sunday, this match between us, yeah, you need to lose. You need to respect the fact that you need to actually engage in the process and stop taking shortcuts. All right. Anyway,
big game, you know.
It's a massive
big game.
It's a massive game.
For the two clubs that want and are part of the old order, you know, the original, the OGs. This is a big game because.
But who's more crucial for Arsenal or Man United?
Both.
I think definitely both because we need to set pace so everyone knows that this is not like we've had a good run of games and then we're going to struggle. We need to let people to take us seriously.
I feel confident we can beat them tomorrow. 100%. I feel confident.
I'll go one step further. We should beat them tomorrow.
We should.
If
you want to win the league and get top 4, you have to beat Man United at Old Trafford.
Putting aside the league for this season to set a precedent that we're back.
Yeah.
We're still building. We're still need to add some pieces, but we're back. We need that 3 points.
Yeah, this is your like not, but it's not your first. This is your first big game.
It's like a derby. It's like a derby rivalry, isn't it?
Yeah, your rivalry goes back all the way as far back, you know, even before where we are now, like Fergie, Wenger,
before Wenger,
George Graham, going way back. This is in the blood, you know. This, you know, it's red.
This is football heritage.
United and Arsenal hate each other. They don't like each other, so it's like that. It's a massive rivalry. This
is a big game for you both because like Clive said, it makes people look at Arsenal differently, and for Man United, it gives them it's another step along the way to what they think the whole Ten Hag era is. They've won the last few games. It might give them a bit more confidence.
The only issue I have is that Arsenal's record at Old Trafford is not that good.
Yeah, but we've beaten them recently, though.
Yeah, what was it? Aubameyang penalty game.
Yeah, we beat them recently.
They didn't beat them last season, though. Lost to them at Old Trafford. Yeah.
But then that game,
we should have beaten them.
In particular, that's what I'm talking about. When you're playing the name, they're playing the shirt reputation rather than the team. Because that team, with the fridge at the back, come on, seriously, we should not have lost that game. Ronaldo, we gave Ronaldo his highlights moment for the season.
Yeah. And Ronaldo didn't want to be there.
Oh.
He didn't want to be there.
He might not even start tomorrow. He might be on the bench anyway. So let's hope he's on the bench.
so that's the big thing for me. I think this is the game that kickstarts will take them seriously, or maybe not, but we'll see. Yeah. Either way, we're top, we're unbeaten, and we're doing really well. My only concern is like not making enough reinforcements in this window. I think we probably have. I'm just hoping and praying that we don't suffer because we can't rely on number 5. El Nenny's it's a bad injury, so he's gonna be out for a while. Zinchenko hopefully will be back soon. But we can't rely on our main. Let's talk about him real quickly, just very briefly, very briefly, because we don't talk about him much anymore because of obviously off the field stuff allegedly. Yeah. But how is he only paid 52% of games in the time he's been at Arsenal?
He played more games. He played every game for Atletico for how many years he was there. I feel like he's not looking after his body properly, man.
Is he going to clubs too much? Is that what it is?
He's partying too much.
He's partying too hard, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah. But one person I have to shout out to, though, who played very well the other day was Lokonga against Aston Villa. He played very well. I think he's going to step up this season. I know in the documentary he was frustrated he wasn't getting minutes last season, but I thought it's up to him now. He has to prove to the manager that manager can trust him in midfield. So I think he needs to play more minutes. Well,
we ain't really got a choice. He's gonna ease our starting midfielder now, one of the 3, because El Nenny's gonna be out for months. Partey, they're hoping it might be weeks or a couple of games, but with that man, you just never know.
I thought Xhaka needs to help him as well because Xhaka's an experienced midfielder and he's a leader as well. So you help him throughout the game and he'll be all right.
I think on that note, what was different in the last game we played is that what Xhaka was doing off the ball, he was a lot closer to Lokonga than he had been to El Neni or Partey. So he'd adjusted his role. We're still playing a 4-3-3, contrary to what some people believe. Some people thought we were playing a 4-2-3-1. That was last season. Catch up, right? We're playing a 4-3-3, but he was dropping a lot deeper and a lot closer to him just in transition. So I think they'll help him out. But for me, the firepower's up front. It's Man United. You lot, Lisandro Martinez. Yeah, you better be doing your stretches right now because you're going to be working hard tomorrow. You might get sent off too. Just saying. But I think I'll leave it there. I think it's been quite fun. Excited to see how the season progresses. Obviously, for Chelsea fans out there watching, listening, look. I want to say I'm hoping things get better. I really am not.
It will.
I just want it to continue. The mediocrity continue.
2 words for you: World Cup. World Cup.
Yeah, the World Cup will reset things, but I think
It's
ultimately,
changed so much.
I think for both Liverpool, Chelsea right now, and in Man United to Man United as well, the big issue to get obviously the league table will kind of filter out and everything will kind of stabilize at some point. But when it comes down to chasing down the top team, I know it's Arsenal. Let's say Man City, when chasing down the title, consistency and results at this stage matter. Liverpool, you need to get it together. Drawing that against Everton, I'm sorry. I don't care what they do. They're Everton. They're your little, I can't say little brother. They're your annoying neighbour that you take their bins away from them every bin day. You hide it and then you put it back afterwards full. That's what you do to them. You bully them.
They were not
respectfully. You do not draw that game. You know it. I know it. It's just not good enough. So you need to really get it together because otherwise, I'm sorry, but your second spot might be going to someone else this season, and they may be wearing blue, sky blue. But anyway, let's leave that for now. Have a good rest of the day, and we'll see you after Arsenal get a result at Old Trafford.
Peace.
Peace.